Welcome back. Again, I am Shannon Marie, your soul success coach, and I'm so excited to join you to dive into part two of Make It Manifest Like a Boss. So, the next part that we're going to be talking about is the big B, which is belief in manifesting. And this is really our abundance formula or prosperity formula in order to really tune in and stay locked into the things that we are truly desiring. And I'm doing this here from my home office. And what's really incredible about this space for me is this is a space here in my home and even my entire home that I manifested right down to gathering around our kitchen island and what I wanted that to look like, and being able to have bonfires and barbecues outside, and down to the details here in my home office. So today we're going to be talking about our emotions, our thoughts, our feelings, and vibrations, and why this is so important. So, as I was talking about before, we are going to also dive into breaking down for you what it looks like when we're in our current reality and struggling to get to the other side. And so, again, I'm going to start with story just because I think that it's really important to be vulnerable in my own journey to show you what is possible for you. And so this house that I am talking about that we manifested, this was really an incredible journey. So my husband and I, and even my 12-year-old daughter, she was 10 at the time, and we really started manifesting what we wanted the house to look like, feel like, what we were going to be able to do in that house, where the location was. And I had some really specific things. So previously I lived about 5 minutes from my sister, and so I wanted to keep in about the same distance. And we really love to entertain and have family and friends over for game nights and barbecues and holidays. And so it was really important for us to have a space in our kitchen where we could accommodate this, because in the past we weren't able to do that. And then to have an outdoor space that was really incredible, that we could do the same, entertain and really have a fun time with our family and friends. And so what was really incredible is that as we were working on this, we actually sold our house that we lived in, and manifesting, working on it, right? And then there's that fear that comes in for all of us. And so our job in manifesting, our primary job, is to stay in the belief, right? And the asking is easy. It's staying in the belief that can be really difficult for us. And so that fear started coming in as my husband and I were looking for our next house, and we were looking at that our budget may not get us what we wanted. It was really important for us to live in the country and to be able to have space for our animals, and be in this area that costs a little bit more money because it's in the wine country here in Oregon. And so as we were looking and there wasn't a lot on the market, we started to kind of get panicked, and our house had actually already sold. We put it on the market and I manifested that as well. It sold within 4 hours. So incredible. And so we actually got down to the point that we had all of our stuff packed and our house was closing in 2 days, and we had no clue where we were moving to. And we started to get a little worried, get a little desperate, right? We asked, we were super clear in it, and we knew that the universe was going to deliver, but we started questioning, like, are you going to deliver on time? What the heck is happening here? The most incredible thing happened. So, somebody on the street where my sister and my dad live, which is maybe 5 minutes walking, but probably like a minute to drive, put their house up for sale. But before they put it up for sale, they had asked if anybody was interested in buying it. So we were able to go in right away. We asked them if we could rent the house back from them, if they could be out in a couple of days. And they actually already had their new house that they had bought, and they were just waiting to kind of sell this one. So it was a perfect opportunity. The universe aligned it exactly how it was supposed to be. I have this beautiful island in my kitchen where we're able to gather. We hosted our first Christmas here this year, this past December, and we have this most incredible area to gather outside and enjoy our family and friends, all within my area that I wanted to be, and so close to my family. So again, I'm saying this not to brag, but I'm saying this because I want you to see what is possible. What the universe wants to do. The universe wants to give us all of our dreams and their desires. The universe wants to have our back 110%. We just have to do the work in believing that it's possible. And I tell you, on day 2, away from my house selling and us needing to find a new place to live, that belief really was put to the test for me. So I'm going to break down how you do this and why it, again, is so important. So our thoughts feed into our feelings feed into our vibe, our vibe feeds into our frequency, and our frequency is our zone of attraction to the universe. And so first and foremost, it's really important to be conscious of our thoughts. And when we have those thoughts of panic or disbelief or self-sabotage or sink back into our old patterns and beliefs, I am really big in getting my head in the how and trying to figure it out for myself instead of just trusting the universe. And so if that is you, this is what I want you to be doing, is to be really super cautious of it and flip your script. So something that I work with my clients on is something called SNAP. I'm a very visual person. And so I created this acronym where you literally get to snap yourself back into your reality that you're seeking, right? So I did this early on in my own journey when I started in my business, and I had a lot of fears that came up. And I knew that I was called for more, and I did not want to give up on those dreams. But the reality was, it was so super scary. And so SNAP stands for stop, N stands for notice, A, notice where you're out of alignment. So this would be like in the case that of my house, right? That 2 days before we were supposed to be moving in, my house was closing. You better bet that I was starting to panic. So I stopped and I noticed where I was out of alignment. I know that regardless of what it looks like, the universe has my back in this. I am 110 supported by God, source, the universe, whatever you believe. And I knew that it was not going to be a situation where we would be on the streets, right? We might have to stay temporarily with a family member or go get put up in a hotel, but I knew that we were not going to be sleeping on the streets. So with that being said, it's easy to shift, right? And so go back into my reality. It's because maybe the house is not available yet, right? Spirit's still working behind the scenes to make this happen for me. So that's my alignment. I know that this is possible. I've been shown over and over again. And then praise. So P is praise. So S is stop. N is notice where you're out of alignment. A is align, like realign with what is true, what is your spiritual truth. And then P is praise. So I like to just take a moment and thank God, universe, source, whatever your belief is. Thank you so much for making this happen for me. Thank you so much for working behind the scenes to align this for me, to remind me. Sometimes when I go out of alignment, it's an opportunity for God, spirit, source to remind me of what I'm really wanting, right? That kind of like prove it moment where it's like, okay, I'm not in alignment. How bad do I want this? What does this look like? Again, remind me, right? Sometimes I'll ask, remind me, take me to that place and remind me where my next steps are. Okay. So our thoughts, being super cautious about that and flipping the script every single time it's not in alignment or not for our highest good. And this is the trickiest part. Mindset is the trickiest part. The next one is feeling. So really being conscious of how you feel. So if our thoughts are going to go into this negative place, we're going to feel negative, right? If our thoughts stay in positive, it's a little easier to stay positive, but sometimes we have to continue to feed that. So one of my biggest things is, this is a sign from my mom, and it's in my office. And it's just a great reminder of every day finding joy. And so that's the sign right here that you see. So every day for me, it's important to find joy in something. And so in your workbook here, you're going to see an opportunity to sit down and get really clear in what are some of the things that light you up? What are some of the things that you enjoy? So when you're having that rough day or you're going back into that place of your thoughts, how can you flip it? How can you feel just a little bit better in order to refocus on the things that you're really desiring? So for me, some of my favorite things, I'm just going to go over my top 5. Excuse me. top 5, which is I love going outside with my dog for a walk. We have beautiful property here and I just love being outside. I love laughing. So sometimes I'll just turn on funny videos and laugh about it. The third thing that I love to do is I love to sing and dance, even though I'm not so good at it. I love cranking up the music and just allowing myself to let go and just be silly. And sometimes just even cranking up the music does wonders for me. It allows me to get out of my head and drop back into my heart space and my soul space and really get connected with myself and my mission and my vision again. The fourth go-to list for me is to spend time in water. So whether that's a shower, a hot tub, go to the lake, go to the ocean, I am really charged with water. So that's a big thing for me. And then my last thing is legs up the wall. So if you've not tried this, it's a really good grounding experience, and you can just find a wall that's unoccupied and lay down with your back on the ground and your feet straight up, and it really allows me to feel really grounded and centered again and ready to take on some really great things. So if we can focus on our thoughts and our feelings, those again are going to feed our vibration. Our vibration is how we show up with our energy into the world, and that is actually what what the universe matches for us. So the universe matches whatever we're putting out, whatever frequency we're putting out. So one of my close friends likes to say, are you putting up a frequency of broke as a joke or abundance AF? I love that. And so what is that frequency that you are putting out? Because your vibration is your frequency for the universe, and the universe's only job is to come through and match that. So it's really important that we keep that vibration. And then again, those are our zone of attraction. So I am so loving this. Again, the easiest way for me to flip back in is to go back into writing out what I'm clear in. So if I am clear in this pontoon boat, for the example that we gave in the first video, I'm going to go back into that experience and allow myself to get back into that space of feeling it, believing that it's possible, and getting really excited about it. So thank you for joining me for video 2. I have one more video left, and this is going to be a great one. So I can't wait to see you soon.